Hi, everybody. Welcome to Starve the Demon, where we recover by any means necessary. Today, I have a very special guest. This is my husband, Cliff, who I love very much and who is on a different type of recovery journey than I am. We are on this journey together, but the way that we do it is different. He does not work the steps like I do, but he has come to that spiritual experience. His demon is starving. So we're going to talk to him today. And Cliff, welcome. Thank you for stepping up and sharing your recovery story.
You're welcome.
Thank
Happy to
you.
help.
What did addiction look like for you at its worst?
Lonely, had constant agonizing regret, turmoil, always horrible, horrific.
Was there a specific turning point or was it a slow slide?
Well, it started when I was 15. The same story most people have that I've talked to. I wasn't accepted. I was bullied. I wasn't part of the in crowd, So I just ended up hanging out with other loners like me. Started with drinking a lot, and then I started doing cocaine. Immediately bad. I immediately knew I never wanted to stop doing that. But I was in no condition or no position to be able to maintain that because I was 15. Pushing shopping carts at the grocery store, telling my mom to F off with her new boyfriend after my dad left, that type of thing.
I do.
And I would say it was a slow slide. I remember earliest days on drinking a case of Black Label beer. Anybody knows what that is? It was $5 a case.
There's a reason it's $5 a case.
Yeah. And I remember sumps with retention ponds and had the tunnels. We go into tunnels, we drink. Police would show up, we jump fences and run.
Seemed like fun at the time, right?
I guess.
So what were you trying to cope with or escape from?
Probably my home life. Didn't like the situation where my dad had left and I got to see him on weekends and it was a custody battle. And her new boyfriend, his demon was strong, very active alcoholic. And I was jealous, and you're not my dad, and you can't tell me. Because he was just as much big of a child as I was. If I got told to go to my room, he would give me that look. Like it was petition. It was ridiculous. It was crazy. I didn't like him. He didn't like me. We didn't like each other. Our demons didn't get along. And I spent my time just trying to not be around him.
Right.
My mom had moved into a house that wasn't far from the school, and I would not go to school. Come home, and then he would come home for lunch and be there all day, drinking beer. And sometimes I'd be hiding in the closet for all 3 hours.
Sad.
It was really sad. It's stupid. And looking back, and now I say I created my own victimhood. I did it to myself. I didn't have to be like that. But I was struggling, and I went from not getting along and being picked on to doing things wrong and lying and hiding and being sneaky. Still not getting along with people. Until I smoked pot for the first time. And then I left my ass off so much. That was fun for a while. Very short period. And then I got paranoid. Smoking marijuana made me think they were coming. It was awful. I went from starting drinking quickly, cocaine, a little bit. Immediately, my mom had the restraining order on me, and I couldn't come home. It was awful. I was just a monster. I was scary, I guess.
Did the people around you know how deep it was? Like, did your mom know that it was drug-related, or did she think you just were an out-of-control teenager?
I remember there being times where I would come home drunk. I'm my BMX, my GT Pro performer. Going through a dark parking lot when I fell over, come home, and I had gravel still stuck in my knees and bleeding. And I went in the shower, pulled the shower curtain down, bam, bam, bam. And I remember being passed out in the bed. And I was coherent enough to hear when my mom come home, she would say, your son's passed out in the bed. Your son's drunk. So, yeah, she knew it was alcohol. And it wasn't long before she knew it was drugs. I'm sure she had to assume it was drugs.
But that's not something you guys talked about.
My mom and I never really talked about drugs. We didn't like each other. I mean, she loved me. She wanted to protect me. And I was wanting nothing to do with that. You're with him and fuck you. And you choose him over me. And we're done here.
That fear and that anger, that was feeding that demon and he was getting stronger.
Yeah. I would say he was getting stronger. I was a kid. I was mad. I didn't have my dad. I was sad. I would watch him get drunk and the police get called and him spit in her face. And I would watch those fights. And I didn't want to be home.
Yeah, I know.
It escalated pretty greatly, pretty quick.
Can you tell me, what did addiction take from you? Your relationships, your health, your peace, your freedom. How did that look for you?
It took my self-esteem, if I ever had any. And at one point in my life, I was happy. I played ball, and I was the star. I felt like I was the star. And I remember being in the minors, and the majors pulled me up. They, let me get the best guy you got. And he brought me up. I felt really good. So I did that for a while, and I was really good. I started off horribly, but I excelled. But then when I started doing drugs, that was over. That was over. That became much more important to me. How are we going to track down some drugs? Yeah, it stole my soul immediately. I'm going to say that.
Now, was there a rock bottom moment? Now, I know if you're like me, you've had several rock bottom. Like you thought you were at rock bottom, and there was a trap door and 50 feet of crap, and then another rock bottom. What was your true rock bottom moment? What happened?
I'm not getting into every single detail of my life. I will say that I've had a lot of what would normally be rock bottom for people. I had a strong desire to do drugs. I moved to Florida when I was 18, and I lived with my aunt, uncle. Real good to me. They took care of me, fed me. I got a job immediately. I felt I needed to pull my own weight, and I was fine for a few years. I had gotten away from drugs for a little while. Working hard as a roofer, you don't have really a time to do drugs. Just drink water and get up and go to work. Any kind of roofing in Florida, anything in Florida, really, outside. But I always had that monster there. That demon was still there. Anytime an opportunity for drugs came along, I would jump on. And when I did, that would go until that source was gone. And it got to a point in my life where I would seek it out. But I wasn't smart about it. I didn't have a lot of connections. I didn't know a lot of people, and I moved around a lot. So I would end up in neighborhoods where I shouldn't have been in. I would put myself at risk. And I am telling you that the fact that I'm here having this interview right now, I'm sure I'm not unique by any stretch. I hear the story over and over and over. We are survivors.
Thank God.
I've done about everything imaginable. Not everything, obviously, but most. And I'm fortunate for that because I understand a lot of people dying, and especially now with the fentanyl.
It's so scary.
Oh my gosh! And you can even snort a lot of cocaine, and now it could be in there. I'm so happy that
I'm glad we got clean when we did. I'm glad we did.
I've been struggling with this for 40 years. The pain. I can cry now because I'm so happy. I drop to my knees every day and talk about how grateful I am.
And you do.
That I get to be with my mom. My mom, who's 82, has dementia. I get to spend my time with her. When I spent my first 30 years telling her to fuck off, it's my life.
It's a gift. You've been given a gift. Absolutely. It's a miracle.
I didn't have any appreciation for life. I wasn't grateful. I may have said I was grateful. I may have felt grateful in those moments, but I never was willing to do any kind of work that was necessary for myself to build my self-esteem, to give me some confidence in myself, to believe in myself that I could ever be anything more than a drug addict.
Yeah. Yeah. You kind of resign yourself that this is what it is.
My pain is my pain, and my pain that I grew up with and that I had for all these years. It's not, I don't have it really. I know it well. I can talk about it. I can shed a tear over it, but I don't live that pain anymore. I don't live that life.
Did you ever feel like it was going to kill you? Or did you get to that point where you were like, oh, just take me out?
I've always wanted to live, but there came a point where I wanted to die, but I was a cow, scared. I've been living in fear all my life. Fear. Obviously, I was scared. Yeah, I came to a point I wanted to die. I took way too many pills, way too many drugs. I took more than enough to kill, I'm sure, many horses. My point is I took too many too often, too hard, too fast. I went too much.
Right, right. The miracle you're alive.
Yeah, I remember calling the police on myself after taking like 25 Valium and a few other pills. I remember at the time I thought it was enough. There's a part of me that wants to live, but crying out for help. Please, somebody, God, I don't know how to stop doing what I'm doing. Please, somebody come take me off these streets. I called 911 on myself. And they came, guns drawn.
God, scary, scary.
At a payphone, when they had payphones. Well, put down the phone. I'm talking to 911 operator. Go, no, don't put the phone down. Yeah, but they're telling me to put the phone down. Well, don't put, what do I do? No, yeah, they took me in, and I was in the psych ward for a couple of weeks. And they put me into a program, and I accepted that. I've been in many programs.
Which places?
Upstate New York, Rockland County had one. I remember one in Queens, New York. This is going back to the 90s. Phoenix House. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Phoenix House. I think it used to be called ACT. I was there. I did 6-7 months there. Okay, one in the Hamptons. CK Post, New York, Pilgrim State, like represent, right? Like it's some kind of college. It's a psych ward. It's the largest psychiatric ward in New York, or I'm not sure in the country. Maybe
it's a bonding thing. I've talked to people like, oh my God, I went to the same rehab you did.
Yeah. TK Post used to get a metal coin if you did it. Yay! We had a celebration.
We have what we call a coin out, and everybody takes the coin and they pass the coin around to all the people, and they say like a prayer over it.
Yeah. Thank God I lived in New York, because at the time I don't believe Florida had the funds in the.
They weren't doing it here yet.
The accommodations that they have, I don't think so. They'll take you to a detox, and you spend 3 days there, and then good luck.
What made you want to fight back and recover?
It was bad. Rehabs, halfway houses, moments of clarity. I won't say sobriety. I got a job, I got a girlfriend, I got a car, and then it all came tumbling down. I did that time after time after time. I met my wife in, say, 1996,
Not me,
95.
the first wife.
Not you. Not my first wife, sorry. And I loved her. We loved each other. My demon was running pretty strong back then, though. I was living a secret life. I could still dip and dab over here and then come home and try to be Mr. Husband. That didn't work out very well for me or her. So I was very, very selfish. My demon was very, very strong. I was sneaky, very sneaky. See, I might have been a good person somewhere underneath it all, but my demon had me. Like, oh, no. Could not stop. Try to come home and be an honest man. It was horrible. I couldn't be a family man. I was a horrendous husband. The stealing, you name it, I did it. It was horrible, okay? Not coming home, being paranoid. Just to give anybody out there an idea how bad I was. I'll give you two. Quick. I worked at Sears. I was a termite and bug guy. I mean, I maintained my life in order to have a car and a wife. And I'm driving a little truck, and I'm going around to people's homes. And I remember stopping at a racetrack, anyway, a bathroom on the outside of the gas station. And I was locked in there for hours because I was stuck. Cocaine. Could not come out of the bathroom. Afraid to. What are you going to say? What are you going to think? Oh my God, everybody to look at me. I can't deal with that. The police came knocking on the door. My boss came knocking on the door. Still, I'll be out on my stomach. So yeah, I was flushing drugs down the toilet. I was crazy. I think I came out, it was the next shift. It was crazy. It was ridiculous. I was in it for like 8 hours. I still had my job. I remember going to Red Lobster with my wife, and I had to go to the bathroom. Got stuck in the bathroom stalls till the waiter said, Miss Piotrowski, your wife is ready to go home. I mean, this is just a couple of the many. To give you an idea, I was out of control. My will had let me run riot.
Yeah.
Is that what they say?
Self-will ran
My
riot.
life was completely...
Self-will run riot. Yeah. It's not easy to say.
Yeah, self-will had run riot, and I was out of control. There was no stopping me. It was unmanageable, and it's unfortunate that the people that around me got dragged down with me, and I am sorry for that. To those who were affected by my ridiculousness, my selfish, horrible behavior, I truly apologize to them. They deserved better, and they didn't get it from me, and I wish them all the best. She sent me the divorce papers at a halfway house. I refused them. I was like, I'm done. I was still selfish. I did drugs in the halfway house. I was smoking crack in the bathroom. I'm not afraid. I'm not confined by what I was anymore. I've never been one to be ashamed of myself, especially now, because maybe it'll help somebody. I like to think that these things are for that. So I met a girl in New York. I'm going to school to be a
still not me.
I'm with another woman. Yeah, I had a job. Always had a job. A car. I was very sneaky. What do you call that? A functional?
Yeah, that's an oxymoron. I've heard that term.
Yeah, it's not really. It wasn't very highly functioning. It was just a matter of time before it all came crashing down. You know, one of the times my girl had told me I needed to leave because I was doing drugs in her house. I got a DWI while I was out living in a room somewhere, and I crashed the car. I was drunk as hell. 7 days in jail. I mean, that scared the shit out of me, but I didn't scare me straight. Nothing was going to scare me straight. And I had to have another 5-6 years after that of pain. So she eventually have to give me chance after chance, mind you. Chance after chance after chance. I'm not a victim.
You're a perpetrator.
I had become a monster. Out of control. Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, I met that guy.
For sure.
I
and you
met him.
You know, I don't like that guy.
He's not allowed in this house.
No, if I see him coming.
I see him coming. I'm buying a new car.
Neither one of us wanted.
Last time I saw him, I bought a new car. That's a whole nother story.
My escape. I put my escape plan.
Next time will be a mortgage. Anyway. Talk about this. Over the years, you've gone to different rehabs. You've had different experiences. What recovery paths have you tried that did not work for you? You started to do it and then you gave up on it. Because I believe that any path of recovery, if it's followed thoroughly and fearlessly, can work for anyone. Like if you thoroughly and fearlessly work the 12 steps, you will not relapse. If you don't, you might. And I think that's true whether it's psychiatric, whether it's church, whether it's Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Recovery Dharma, Smart Recovery, whatever it is. If you really work it, I think those programs are sound, but people don't work them, so they don't work.
People aren't sound. I wasn't sound. Those programs are great. I wasn't ready to work
Which ones did you try, though, and how much of an effort did you make?
NA, AA, SL, and A. Understand something. They all work for whoever's ready to work them, I'm sure. I'm the Captain Half-Ass. Understand? I still want to have my drink in one hand and my do the right thing in the other. You understand? I never really wanted to quit doing the drugs. I just wanted my life to get better, but I could still get high. Well, why can't that work? And we all know. I've been in the rooms. I know. We want our cake and eat it too. We want our drink. We want everything. Well, why can't we have it all? I work for a living. Why can't I do what I want to do? I got king baby syndrome.
Yeah.
We all know the cliches. I was weak-minded. Now I'm not. I survived. I had a lot of days where I came to, and now I can say I wake up. And I am so fortunate. Again, I'm grateful as the day is long, every day, that I'm even here. Because I could have been dead. I put myself in too many risky situations where I have gotten beat up, could have got beat up, could have got stabbed. You know, I mean, I haven't been shot at yet, thank God. There's a lot of yets, and they're all yets. Because guess what? Even now, everything's a yet. Everything's not. It's not over. I have to steady put my left foot in front of the right foot every single day to the best of my ability, and that's it.
If you could label your recovery path, which one did you choose?
I would say AA. I would say AA is the one that got me the most to believe that, and I could be somebody.
And was that from going to meetings or working with a sponsor or working steps?
Yeah, that was meetings, sponsor, service. Yeah, that was through going to psych wards, jails.
With honesty being the first spiritual principle. Have you ever read the entire Alcoholics Anonymous big book?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever had a sponsor that you actually got to step work with? Okay.
Yes.
So what happened during the fourth step?
I have a really, really, really hard time putting pen to paper. And during the process of my fourth step, I went out. And when you go out, if anybody knows that once you do all that and you feel in your heart that you're putting everything you have and you're trying from your gut, from your soul, you're trying, and you go out, you're not ready to take that walk again. It's like losing a lover. I don't want that again. For a drug addict and alcoholic, that's a lot of work. That's a lot to put everything you have into something and fail epically. And let's go do it again. Start over. What? No. I have had that happen enough times. And I said, I want this. I got to a point in my life where I would be like, I'll just get sober just so I don't have to hear this shit anymore. You're
sober now. I can attest, as your wife, I can attest that you are not a dry drunk. You are not just white knuckling it. You're truly, truly clean. I am not walking the world in fear anymore.
The monster. I was your monster for a while.
I know. I fought my demon off, still fighting yours. Thank God.
Listen, up until not too long ago, you were still fighting me off, and the police. And I was telling everybody in my life, go to hell and leave me alone, and just let me get high and die by myself. I found the strength somehow because I want to live. Because the little boy inside of me does want to live. I want happiness. I remember what that was like, and I know those moments of clarity, those moments of happiness. They were there and throughout my life, and they were great. I couldn't sustain that behavior, that activity, or that lifestyle, or to be able to go to work and be responsible in any capacity, to be consistent with maintaining a marriage or a relationship with anybody. That's why I spent a lot of time in rehab, psych wards by myself. It doesn't have to be that way. Listen, I wasn't ready until I was ready. Does it mean I'm ready to put pen and paper? So I don't ever want to have to pick up a pen and write that much stuff down again. My life is wonderful. I am happier now that I've ever been in my entire life. And I could cry streaming tears right now on how happy I am. My mom's in my life. That's my dad about 6 years ago. His woman in his life wouldn't talk to me. All she said when I tracked him down, found out he was dead, is, I heard about you. So I'm sorry for that. I wish things could have been different. I wish the last words to my dad hadn't been, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. I'm sorry for that too, babe.
I regret that.
And at the time, my demon was still strong. I wanted to drive up there, nail her door shut, and set her house on fire, if I remember correctly.
No, that was good thing we didn't do that, I'm sure.
I'm not trying to go back to prison.
After I put you through hell, I'm in the shed that we ordered, and I'm doing drugs in there. You're doing drugs? No, I'm not. Go to work so I can do drugs. Just leave. So stay out. You're on your way home here. Stop and get this so I can have another hour worth of. It was ridiculous. And I was lying, and I was stealing money from us. And I'm over here trying to justify it. No, just a little, or I didn't steal. It's my money too. I was at my worst of my addiction ever. It only progresses. My demon was strong. And I believe in demons. and I believe in angels. And I believe you're my angel. I had some desire to live on the inside. So it was like a light that wouldn't go out, a little kindling of fire that refused to go out. And after enough pain and misery and fighting and screaming and horrible scenes where I thought I was going to kill myself. And I put a gun in my mouth one day. And I was going to pull the trigger. I had cocked it and I was going to pull the trigger. I didn't do
Thank
that.
God.
Somewhere along the line, I woke up one day and I said, I have a beautiful woman. I don't know what she's doing here or why she's here. Because like a lot of times I was so out of my mind, I might have forgotten, how the hell did I get this one? You stuck with me for years when nobody else would be there. And they tried. I'm not going to say, oh, poor me, everybody left me. I pushed them away. I didn't want them to go, but they pushed me away or I pushed them away. It had to be done. I was in no way ready for any relationship. I was fucking lives up. Okay? I was blowing bridges up. I wasn't creating anything that anybody needed to be a part of. That was my reality. Sad state of affairs. And I caused a lot of pain. I hurt a lot of feelings. I disappointed a lot of people. I hurt people. I don't do that now. I'm happier than I can ever imagine. I will not go back to that lifestyle. I won't. I'm grateful for you, Jen, in my life. I'm grateful for my mom that she never gave up on me. God bless her soul. I live to be the best person I could be in any given time now. I'm not selfish. I work hard. If I want something, I go to work. I want stuff. I want to have things for you, my mom. I'm a free spirit now. I'm happy. And I know it's only by the grace of God.
Thank you, Jesus. Now tell me, what do you struggle with in recovery today?
But my biggest struggle that I can articulate, people are selfish, and I'm sure I know I was them. I know I was them. I had to be, right? I didn't deliberately go around trying to thwart people, no. But people that don't drive,
say it.
Fucking turn signals. These people have no consideration for others' life.
Would you say that you're maybe a little judgy?
Yeah, that's something I got to work on.
That might be a character defect?
Yeah, that's something. And I go to meetings and I share about it and I bring that to, because I don't want that.
I know. And when you do, like 20 other people in the meeting go, yeah, man.
Yeah. That seems to be like the last demon we all got. It's like the demon from No Whammies.
Not your demon. That's one of your character defects is not being able to let things go.
My little character default.
Yeah.
That's a character default that I'm still working on. Being totally okay with the world around me being completely chaotic.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy.
Yeah, I talk to many, many people on any given day who want to drag people out of their garments. As long as you don't do it.
Right. So let me ask you this. How do you starve the demon when it tries to come back?
Time I pray. I will call you. I don't care what time of night it is. I have people in my life where it doesn't matter. They're not gonna not answer me. Or they're not gonna be like, dude, it's late. Call me. I don't give a shit. This is your life. Does your life mean something? Mine apparently didn't. I remember my sponsor being at my house, right? Going over the book. Everybody's proud of me. I can't wait for him to leave so-called drug dealer. And I did as soon as he left. Okay? When they say pick up that phone, I was nowhere near ready to pick up that phone. Pick up the phone and call my drug dealer. I want you to leave.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was my life full of anxiety about, oh, God, I got to do the right thing. I got to make it look good over here. But then I got to hurry up and call the drug dealer because he says he's going to movies at 6. It's chaotic. I'm surprised I didn't have a heart attack. Honestly. Just waiting, frustrated. Yeah, biting my nails, stressed out. I have to be done before she comes home. Oh, my God. The lifestyle, it's a horrible, horrible choice. And I don't recommend it to anybody. I wouldn't recommend giving a kid beer. I wouldn't recommend it. Because you never know what he might be.
It's a great point, though, because we all went to that party when we were 14, right? We all went to the party. We all had a beer. Maybe we smoked a joint. Some of us just didn't go home for 25 years. But we're at the same party. It's not like you look at these kids and go, oh, they're horrible people and are turning drug addicts. No, it's just what you do when you're that age and it's stupid. But it's not like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. The difference is some of us end up under the bridge. And you never know who among us is going to end up under the bridge because nobody starts out under the bridge. How do you stay grounded when nobody's looking?
Where any given situation, I be where I am. I get involved in whatever moment I'm in. I get involved in my own life. I show up for my own life today. If there's something I need to do, if it could be surprising you with rearranging damn furniture, I'll get involved with that. I have a life now. And the time where I'm going to do something is going to be over and I'm going to have to get ready for work. Because that's always good. I go to work. I love my job. I haven't always. I'm very happy with my life right now. Very, very happy. Right now, I'm ready. because things still happen. I think I'll be more ready for it now, more able to handle it than had I been,
Right,
the latter.
right.
The
Well,
way I
I'd
was.
like to throw a recovery cliche in there. And it's something that my sponsor used to say to me, which I think you just articulated perfectly. You have to keep your head where your feet are. You have to live in that moment. Be where you are. Be present. Be doing what it is you're doing. It's a very Zen thing. If you know anything about Buddhism, Zen, do what you're doing while you're doing it, and that's all that you're doing. What is the best part of being in recovery right now?
I'm reliving. I'm happier as if I was a little boy.
You feel childlike.
I feel like yay, yippee, and hell, I'll even skip if I want to. But I'm happy, very happy, truly, truly, truly. I am unchained. I'm for the first time in my life.
Isn't that wonderful?
And I mean that. I mean that. Spiritually, I work for one man.
And I can vouch for that. So how do you help others, or how do you want to help others?
If somebody needs to talk, if there's anything I can offer them, I'll tell them what I do. Or, I don't really try to tell anybody what I think they should do. If they want my opinion, if they want me to point them in a direction, I can help them with that. I have a positive attitude.
Right.
Maybe you need some joy. You're like willing to do this video, for instance. I don't think I would have done this unless I felt like I feel. I was never ready for it. I'm not even worried about what I look like.
I think you look awesome.
Better say you're supposed to say it. My mom always told me that too. She always told me, "You look great," and she lied to me all my life.
Never did she lie.
I'm just teasing. I will say, anybody who's struggling out there, you can do it. The odds are against us.
Right.
That's true.
Our default is to get high. And when an addict doesn't get high today, that's a miracle.
You got to stay busy doing something that's the complete opposite of what your addiction has you doing for a long enough period of time to where you can distance it from your mind and continue doing that. With geographic changes, obviously aren't always the thing, because when you take yourself with you, we all know that. You have to be ready. You have to have had enough pain. And enough pain might mean a lot more for some people than it does.
What would you say to somebody who thinks recovery is impossible?
Never give up on yourself, because it only takes 1 second to have a permanent solution for a temporary problem.
Ain't that the truth? What does recovery by any means necessary mean to you?
Be open-minded. Be willing to do anything. Try anything. Never give up on yourself. Dig deep. Know your self-worth. And if you don't think you have any, do something positive.
See how good being of service feels.
You'll end up with a smile.
That's true. The literature, the AA Big Book tells us that the best way to deal with our own cravings is to help another alcoholic. Go help somebody else. Be of service.
Because our demon wants us to be selfish and keep everything to
Right.
ourselves. You have to step out of yourself. You have to. You have to get uncomfortable. Everything's not going to be comfortable. Not going to just hand you this fucking pill that says, "Here, you're recovered."
Wouldn't that be great?
You have got to step out of your comfort zone and do things that you don't want to do, because that's what your demon
Right,
doesn't
because
want.
change can't happen in a comfort zone. If you're comfortable, why change? What is one truth about recovery that people need to hear? No sugarcoating.
Life's hard. Get a helmet.
Shout out to Candace Owens. Life is hard.
Candace told us that one.
You sure right.
Yeah, I like that. True. It rings true, because life is hard. And damn it, stop trying to get the world to change around you. Get a freaking helmet and get in there and fight for your own damn life.
I love it. If you could go back in time, what would you tell the younger you?
Get right with God.
Knew you were going to say that.
I don't care how close or not close, or how much of a relationship or that lack thereof you have with God. Trust and believe. Get right with him. He already knows what you're going to do long before you do it. Make right with the stuff you haven't even done yet. Go make right with God and stay as close as you can with God. But you may not know what that means when I say that to you. Trust and believe. You're going to wish you had.
Absolutely. What is your favorite quote or motto that keeps you going?
Never do less than the best you can.
That's hard to live up to.
My mom told me that. Shout out to Mom.
So how do you feel this interview went?
Raw. I'll tell you what, it's raw.
Is there something that you'd like to talk about that I didn't ask about?
I don't know. I'll say this real quick. I have gratitude and an appreciation for life, unlike I've never known. And when you put down the drugs and alcohol, if you were able to do it before you're in a jail cell for 30 years, if you were able to do it at all, honestly, but hopefully before you end up in a jam, you're blessed. I've poisoned my own life for many, many years. And I know a happiness now that I didn't know was possible. A freedom beyond words. Whoever's out there, whoever's hurting, during a few days of sobriety, without drugs, start out with abstinence, obviously. If you can a little bit of time together and get involved with the right kind of people, you'll realize how happy you can be. But when you're stuck with that demon, you're never going to be happy, because it's never going to bring you true happiness. That's all I can
Well
say.
said. Thanks, everybody, for being here and listening to my handsome husband, Cliff, and his story. Again, I do short versions of stories on this channel. Please, if you have any questions for Cliff, any comments, you can comment down below and I will make sure that he gets them. And I'll even make sure he answers them. So
Thank you.
share, comment, tell all your friends if you still have any. And remember, love everybody. Let God sort them out. Stay strong. Bye.